Something that's been kind of a new movement in AP Calculus has been talking about horizontal asymptotes rather than directly asking about limits going to infinity. Before I continue, please like and subscribe for more math help. I have entire playlists dedicated to AP Calculus AB and BC, and I'll put some links at the end. So here's what I mean by horizontal asymptotes. I hope you remember from pre-calculus what horizontal asymptotes look like. It's something like this, where if your function is in here and it's does that, and maybe that, and you say, oh, it's as these are their horizontal asymptotes. It's the end behavior. And obviously, we would say it's a limit. This one is x goes towards infinity, and this one is a limit as x goes towards negative infinity. But for a lot of years in calculus, we just directly ask that. We'd ask about limits going to infinity or to negative infinity. But now there's been a tendency on the test to ask instead about horizontal asymptotes, which means you have to check both. And that's the tricky thing. Most times people just remember to check one. So let's do an example. Let's say our function is 2 over 1 plus e to the x minus 3. And again, if you were asked for the horizontal tangents, which is a question that's coming up more and more, you're being asked, what is the limit as you go towards infinity for that function? And what is the limit as you go towards negative infinity for that function? And most times people forget the negative one. So let's say you plugged in positive infinity. And I'm just going to make some kind of notes here. The bottom, of course, is always 2. We've always got a minus 3 at the end. And we've got 1 plus. Now, as e goes to infinity, e to the infinity is getting huge. Again, I'm going to even take an equal sign out here and just write huge. Okay? Well, 2 over something getting really big, 1 plus something really big, that's going to 0. 2 over something really big, this is going to 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Okay? And again, just think about the fact that if if this got really big, 2 over 1,000, 2 over 10,000, 2 over 1,000,000, 2 over 1,000,000,000, this just keeps getting closer and closer to 0, and then you subtract 3. Now going to negative infinity, well, we'd still have that 2, we'd still have 1 plus, we'd still have the minus 3. Now e to a negative infinity, that's the same, remember, make a little note here, e to a negative infinity is the same as 1 over e to the infinity. That's what negative exponents do. Well, 1 over something getting really, really big, that's going to 0. Now I'm just going to put like a little underline there because it's not 0, it's just going to 0. Well, 2 over 1 plus almost 0 is 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So this thing has 2 different limits depending on your direction. It's negative 3 if you're going in the positive direction and negative 1 if you're going in the negative direction. So both are considered horizontal asymptotes. Let me quick show you a picture before we're done. And here it is. You can see I put the picture in, and you can see in going to the negative infinity, negative 1, going to positive infinity, it is negative 3. So just be very careful if you are asked for horizontal asymptotes. Make sure and check both of those limits. I'll link some more examples here.